Today, my topic on visual art is going to be a manga that I like, that I've read for a long time, called One Piece. And specifically, I'm not doing the whole manga, but I'm doing an arc in the manga, which is the Fishman Island arc. And it deals with justice, prejudice, and unity beneath the sea. The basic information. The work I'm doing is One Piece. On this side right here, the material is going to be in black and white, but this is just the cover of the arc that they show. This is what we're going to be talking about here. The artist slash author who made the story, One Piece as a whole, is Eiichiro Oda. It's going to be more about him on the next slide. For my chapters covered, if you want to go see it, I'm going to put the manga itself, the digital manga that I used for my presentation today, in the works cited page, so you can go see. Or I don't think it's in the works cited page, but I'll put it when I submit it, so you can go cover it. The chapters I'm covering are from 598 through 653. I'm not using all of them, but I'm using probably two chapters from in the middle of these two. The volumes is 61 through 66. 61 is when the Fishman arc starts. 66 is when the Fishman arc ends. There's roughly around 56 chapters. Again, I'm only using two, probably. This chapter was made and published in August 2010. The chapter ended in 2012. And the location in the story in the One Piece world is fishermen under the water. A little quick synopsis. One Piece is about pirates, and about a pirate named Luffy who goes on a journey to become the king of the pirates. Just like a quick little synopsis on what we're talking about to give you some of context. Next is Eiichiro Oda. Now Eiichiro Oda is he's a very private person. He's a Japanese person who was born in 1975. One Piece became a manga, accepted as a manga in 1997, but he's had the idea of One Piece constantly years before. So yeah, the context, Oda wanted to write this arc specifically to give us a backstory and to show us that racism comes in different forms and species, and it's not always just about color, but sometimes it's about a whole way of living, as you're going to see more in the presentation. He in the manga, more about, besides the stuff that I chose to put in here, there are even more deeper things that are brought up in the chapters. So I'm gonna put them in here so y'all can read it if y'all want to. But the biggest part in this is how he uses Jinbei. Jinbei is a fishman who is at first not liking humans, but Queen Otome is a fish woman who wanted to unite fishmen and humans, no matter how much humans put fishmen in slavery. She wanted to unite all of them and make it a place where we can live not just underwater but on top of water with humans. Next, contemporary significance. One of the most meaningful scenes in Fishman Island. This is towards the end of Fishman Island. Little context before what you see on the right. Put it in context. There was a bad guy named Horty. Horty was a fisherman. I'm pretty sure he was a slave, if I can remember correctly. He was a slave, or he was fighting for slaves, fishermen, and he got a little out of control. So Luffy, who's a human, came down. He didn't come down just specifically for him, but he fought him. And when the fight was over, Luffy was significantly injured, bleeding out, and he needed blood. But there's a rule in fishermen where we don't share blood with humans. Humans' blood is bad. They've done so much to us. They're not real people. They're not the true people. They're nothing. But Jinbei, who hated people, who hated humans for what they did to his captain, which we're gonna see more about that in the next slide, what they did to his captain, he decides to step up and be the bigger person to show because in the scene you don't see it, but not just Jinbei and Luffy is there. They're surrounded by hundreds of fishermen who's looking at them, who just got done seeing the fight of Luffy fighting for their kingdom and for their freedom from Horty. So Jinbei sits down and he gives Luffy the blood that he needs and tells him to take as much as you want, signifying that this in the story, I couldn't really find it because I was stretched for time. But in the story, he does say it's only blood. There's nothing wrong with giving it to someone who's dying. like signaling that he's saying it doesn't matter if they're fisherman or human. It doesn't matter what species there is. If there's someone dying and I can do something about it, I'm going to do something about it. So I hope you can see this right here. This goes into depth about, you know, some people are against it, not understanding what Jinbei is doing. The king is telling them that the old laws is a curse in their own. You don't need to follow them. Let's go to the next one. Next one, critical thinking. This is the question I want to give out. The question reads: in the Fisherman arc, Queen Otome and Fisher Tiger represent two very different responses to human cruelty. Which path do you believe offers a better solution in real life? Peaceful protest or retaliation? So peaceful protest is Queen Otome. Queen Otome. Queen Otome. And Fisher Tiger. They are both fishermen. They're both fishermen. Queen Otome, she wanted to unite the human race with fishermen in a more peaceful way. You know, going up to talk to them, going up to understand them. And she's very optimistic. She doesn't think every human is bad. On the other side, Fisher Tiger. A little backstory on Fisher Tiger. Fisher Tiger. I don't remember if he was a slave or not, but here it says he was, so I'm gonna go with it. He was a slave, but he was also, when he broke out, he freed many other slaves, not just fishermen. He didn't like slaves, period, but he still didn't like humans, but just seeing any slaves, period, made him he didn't like it. So the other side of it is retaliation, where Fisher Tiger, he's more of a, I will never trust humans. I don't like humans. I don't want them or nothing. In this scene, Fisher Tiger just got done fighting humans. After he took care of a little girl who was on his ship called Koala. And he's bringing her back. Marines came and got him. Marines are basically like the police in One Piece. Marines came. He fought with them, and he's dying. And he could be healed. He could heal if he gets some of the human's blood, because that's the only blood that's compatible with him. But instead of that, he says that he will never yield to the humans, and it's understandable from his point of view and Otohime's point of view. It's understandable from both of their point of views. With the one who probably hasn't experienced as much as Fisher Tiger, who was a slave, who went through it, who's seen what they do to him. It's not. And the people who are enslaving them are not just all humans, period. But it's like the top of the top. They're called, they live in Marijois. Marijois is like the land of the gods. They're called celestial dragons. They're the ones who are enslaved, who enslaves them. They even enslave humans. They enslave all type of species. So yeah. And with that being said, this is my works cited page of everything that I did do. These are the pictures for each thing that you did see for slide 1, slide 2, slide 4, slide 5. And the ones where you see only one but you see 2 pictures, they came from the same chapter, and these links lead you to that chapter, so you can see it plus everything else. So yeah, hopefully I didn't go overboard or it didn't bore you. Thank you for listening, and yeah.